Tattoo cover-ups. So every artist will have their own way that they advise on tattoo cover-ups, and every tattoo cover-up will be individual as to what you can and can't do. So this is just a general advice. But let me give you a few guidelines and points that from my experience I've learned are useful. So it will help to give the artist some direction. Direction in the sense that the type of style you're after, is it realistic, is it traditional, is it Japanese? However, you need to be a little bit flexible. You can't be, right, I want a pink bear to cover this massive dragon. Alright? There needs to be open-mindedness and flexibility. When you're trying to do a cover-up, you're against the elements. So being open to ideas is ideal. Contrast. In order to get something to cover up, the thing you're covering it up with ultimately needs to be darker. Otherwise the one underneath will push through and be seen. So you have to consider that the new tattoo is likely to be darker than the old one. And size. The size of the new tattoo will usually need to be bigger than the original. Some artists can be super clever, possibly, and just either redo the work that you've got done or go over with minimal extra size. But most artists will want to make it bigger to get a good cover-up. The time. You have to consider that covering up something old is likely to take longer than what it would to do a new tattoo. So obviously there's going to be a cost element, and my advice is to be prepared to take the time for it to take longer and for you to find an artist who's probably cost more than the artist who done it originally, which is why you're wanting to get it covered up. If you go and try and get this done cheaply, it's highly likely you're going to be unhappy with it again, and to cover up a cover-up of a cover-up is really, really difficult. And then you potentially anchor yourself into a place where the good artists don't want to do it because they're super busy doing new work on fresh skin, which then really, really limits you and puts you in a difficult place of being able to even get this thing covered up at all. So another thing to consider, when we're looking at time and cost, is that this cover-up may need more than one pass. What I mean by a pass is it might need to be gone over 2 or 3 times, possibly. Not always, but something to consider. It's like painting a wall. Okay, if you've got something to cover up on a wall, you might need 2 or 3 coats in order to cover it up. It's the same with a tattoo. When you're tattooing, you're up against the elements. Some people bleed more than others. Some ink goes in better on other people. It's one thing that we can never predict until we start doing the tattoo. So again, be flexible and open and considerate to your artists, because they, in my opinion, obviously you're paying them, but they're trying to help you out with this. Laser. Getting laser is never a bad thing. If the cover-up's that bad, if it's that bold, if it's that in your face and you're not too flexible with what you want to cover it up, sometimes we do suggest you go get 1-2 lasers on that, just to lighten it so you've got more options as to what you can cover it up with. So, consider cost. Getting a cover-up can cost you a lot of money, but it depends on how well you want it done. If you're considering getting a cover-up done with us, go to our website at www.monumentalink.co.uk and you can find out some more information there.